What is the most important question you haven't answered yet? How do you pursue your very best when times get hard? Well, on today's show, we're going to answer that question and share that with you and help you find the answer to that question so you can successfully reach the goals you want to. Let's get into it.
Be better tomorrow because of what you do today.
Welcome to the Fallible Man Podcast, your home for all things man, husband, and father. Guys, we provide content for men to help them become the men they want to be. My name's Brent, and I am the Fallible Man. The question that you need to answer is, what is your why? And it's likely the most important question you will ever ask, and it's the hardest one to answer. It's critical if you want to succeed in your goals for personal growth, guys. We talk about personal growth a lot, but I can tell you, you need to answer this question if you really want to reach your potential. It's incredible how important this is. What's even more impressive to me is very few people actually have any idea why they do the things they do every single day. We aren't taught to think like that. That's not normally part of the educational system. That's not a normal part of it. Can you believe that? Seems kind of weird to me that it's not, but it really isn't. In fact, if you don't believe me, start asking yourself this very question with everything you do and don't accept any answer other than the actual sound, well-reasoned answer. For example, the statement, I want to lose weight. If you keep asking why until you get to a well-reasoned answer, you'll likely come up with one of three different possibilities, guys. I'm afraid of dying, I have low self-esteem, or I'm afraid of missing out because of that. If you boil the question down to the root, those are the most likely core whys you'll actually get to when you ask that question. I drive my friends crazy all the time because that is my favorite question in the world. Anyone who knows me really well will tell you I will barrage you with the question, why? Because you have to understand why you're doing anything. If you don't, then you're just going through the motions, really. And we do that with a lot of things. For example, if you ask me why I think Hellmann's mayonnaise is the best mayonnaise, I can honestly tell you the only reason I think Hellmann's mayonnaise is the best mayonnaise is because that's what my mom always bought. So therefore, it's imprinted in my brain. It's not that I chose that it is the best mayonnaise. It's not like I sat down and tried a bunch. It's imprinted in my brain. Now, that seems like a silly answer or a silly example, but if you boil down to why people do things, the majority of things you go through in your everyday life, you probably do out of just, they're things like that where your parents did it or someone influential in your life suggested it or brought it up or pointed it out. And otherwise is traditions and just what we've always done. They're traditions whether we know it or not a lot of times. Establishing your why is super, super important and critical for your success because superficial things will not see you through when things get difficult, guys. Don't believe me? Look at the diet fad. So many people's diets go all kinds of wonky because they do it for superficial reasons. They start at, I want to lose weight, but they haven't actually dealt with, why do I want to lose weight? Why is this important to me? As a man, and on this channel, we talk about doing right in our lives by making ourselves better, by improving ourselves constantly, by increasing our standings, not for monetary gain, but for our own purposes, to grow, to become the men we want to be. But you're going to face some really hard challenges doing that, so you have to find your core why. And, maybe you'll get to a point where you share that with other people. Maybe it will stay very personal. It depends on the particular thing you're discussing. I shared with my daughters for the first time the other day. They are a lot of the driving force behind the Fallible Man. Them and my nieces. I told you guys this story before, so I won't go into it now. But establishing your why is really difficult for a lot of people because it's not something they've ever really boiled down to before. So today we're going to help you with 5 questions, or well, they're not all questions. They're 5 things to do to help establish your why, because I realize I've never covered this before. So the first thing we're going to talk about, point number 1, is you need to ask why at least 5 times. Now, you want to start running. I don't know why anyone wants to start running, but my wife does it, so we're going to use that as an example. You want to start running. You want to exercise regularly. You want to lose weight and feel great, but why? Why is the goal important to you? Why does it matter? So we're going to keep going with this example. So a good exercise is to insert your goal and your reason into the following sentence. I want to blank because blank. Now, for example, I want to run a 10K because it will help me get into shape. Now, let's break it down though. Insert the reason into the first part of the sentence and repeat it over and over again at least 5 times. So we started with, I want to run a 10K because it will get me in better shape. So I want to get into better shape because I don't have enough energy to be productive at work. I want to be productive at work because it's important to provide for my family. See, we're working our way down. I want to provide for my family because being a great parent is rewarding. I want to be an amazing parent because I believe it's part of living a good life. Now we're actually making progress on this, guys. See, if you keep just inserting and working your way down, suddenly your goal of running a race isn't about getting into shape. It's about progressing in your career and providing for your family and living a life you're proud of. Right? Does that sound like a stretch to you guys? Get beneath the surface. Keep asking why, and you'll get there. Why does it matter? Why is it important? Why must I do it this way? What do I really want to do it for? You really got to get into those whys. Why is what drives everything you do. So the deeper you dig, the more you're going to learn about yourself and what really matters to you. Plus, you'll understand your why. The deeper you go, right? We got to boil it down. Why do I want to run? Well, if you kept asking, if you follow through that, it has nothing to do with getting in shape. It has to do with about being the person you want to be, right? That is a deeper reason. That is a deeper why than I just want to be in shape. Because I just want to be in shape. That happens every January, guys. I laugh at it every year in the gym. It's ridiculous. And it just doesn't last. And guys, if you're enjoying the podcast so far, be sure and give us a like or a thumbs up. Subscribe wherever you guys are. Share this content. That's the greatest compliment you give me. Share this content with friends. And be sure and hit the bell. YouTube is making it harder and harder to get this notified if you're listening on YouTube. If you're on our podcast, on any of the platforms, guys, I know at least a couple of them, like Apple, you can comment. So I'd love to hear from you guys too. It means a lot to me. But let's keep going. Number 2, the second thing you need to think about is what keeps you out of bed. Well, sorry, I said that wrong. What gets you out of bed and what keeps you up at night? That is the next question if you're keeping track. That's number 2. Now, I'm not talking about your kids running in and jumping on the bed at the early crack of dawn or because they won't go to bed, all right? I'm talking about what gets you up in the morning. What keeps you awake? What things really get down to the seat of who you are? That is what we're talking about. So, what gets you super excited? I mean, I talk about this with people who want to get into shape, because if you hate the gym and don't enjoy walking on a treadmill, it's not going to go so well for you to get a gym membership, right? So what are you excited about? I had one friend who just loved to ride his bicycle, and it worked great for him. He wanted to add a little bit to that, so I recommended a power tower to him. If you don't know what those are, it's those little freestanding things. It's got a pull-up bar, a dip chair, and push-up handles. because he just wanted to add some basic calisthenics type workout to what he already did. He didn't want to go lift weights. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? That's absolutely acceptable. So you have to find what you love. If you don't love lifting weights or walking on treadmills, the gym's probably not the best place for you. So if you're trying to get in shape, bad choice. Maybe you need a spin bike. Maybe you just need to go hiking or rucking. I love rucking. If you don't know what rucking is, it's hiking with a backpack with weight. The military does it to keep in shape, and guys, it works. Me and my buddy both like to ruck. So you need to find what gets you out of bed in the morning when you're dog tired, other than you have to go to work because you're going to get fired if you don't, right? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What makes you excited? Now, before we keep going, guys, here's the question of the show. Do you already know your why? Do you know what it is already? If so, what is it? Comment down below. And if not, what do you think your why is? What do you think your reason is, guys? I want to see you go through this. So, do you already know what your why is? If so, share it. And if you think you know what it is, but you're not sure, share that too. Guys, I love seeing what you say in the comments. I love reading what you say. I always go through and answer those comments. So chime in, join the community. We're going to roll to our sponsor, and we got more coming back right after this.
Today's episode brought to you by thefallibleman.com. That's right, it's us. Head over to www.thefallibleman.com and check out our blog, updated twice a week with new content and links to all of our social media offerings. Tag or search us at The Fallible Man or at Fallible Man on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social medias for daily content. While you're there, check out our attitude swag, shirts, cups, stickers, and more. Again, that's www.thefallibleman.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. And hey, thanks for sticking around. We're exploring why and how to find yours so you can get through those difficult days and those difficult challenges. Now, we've already talked about asking why at least 5 times and breaking down each step of it. We've also talked about what gets you out of bed and, what keeps you up at night. So here's question number 3 to help you define that why. What sentence will come to define your life? Now, Daniel Pink mentions in the book, Drive, the surprising truth about what motivates us is U.S. President Lincoln's sentence was, he preserved the Union and freed the slaves. Franklin Roosevelt, his sentence is, he lifted the U.S. out of the Great Depression and helped them to win a world war. Those guys focused on 1 or 2 big things that would define their presidency. So the point for the rest of us is to focus on the essential, because if we try to do it all, we're often end up accomplishing absolutely nothing. So think about what you want to be your life-defining sentence. What would you like to be that one thing you're remembered for? Because often, right, we sum up everything. In the social media community, in YouTube and podcasting, we're trying to think of that one sentence that will get you guys hooked to listen to the rest of the podcast and give us a chance. Right? So you think of that one line. Well, people react about other people the same way. What is that sentence that will define you? Maybe it's about raising good kids and volunteering for a cause you care about. It could be about being an artist who creates beautiful things that makes people's lives a little more fun or grows the beauty of this world around us. It could be about starting a thriving business that solves a pressing problem in society. Figuring out why will let you define that sentence. So figure out what you want that sentence to be. Work backwards. Let's deconstruct it. Number 4. This one's been on my mind a lot, guys. What will people say at your memorial service? Now, this is something that has driven me my whole life because my father was a minister. And so I went to a lot of memorial services. And I listened to eulogy after eulogy, and this is something I've always thought about and has kind of been a driving thing for me to find my why. But my father recently passed away, and we just had his memorial service. last week, actually. My father knew exactly what he wanted people to say about him when his time came. And for us, it was really easy to say those exact things. He lived his life motivated by what he would be remembered for. Because he didn't actually want to be remembered. He wanted what he did for people to be remembered. He wanted to be remembered for living a life of service in what he believed in, which was God. Like I said, he was a minister for 40 plus years, and he wanted to be remembered by being the person who helped other people find what he believed in. Will you have lived a life of action, of setting goals and working towards them? Will you be someone who lived life to the fullest, who took advantage of every opportunity that came their way? Who relentlessly pursued life with a passion and purpose? What will people say about you? Did you climb Everest? Did you start a business? Did you reach the goals you wanted to reach? How will you be remembered? And what will people say around your casket? That, once you really define that, then you can go, okay, this is what I want. Why do I want to be remembered that way? Now guys, be sure and subscribe for more content like this, and let's keep rolling. Decide who you want to be is number 5, guys. It's not about reaching our goals that define us so much as a person, but the journey we take to get there that really defines us. Life is all about journey and our actions and responses and attitudes towards people, and the resistance that really tell the world who we are. Did I say that right? Guys, who we are is defined by how we respond to the resistance that tries to hold us back, that tries to stop us. So decide who you want to be and work backwards. Guys, finding your why is so incredibly important. Find your why. Without it, you'll be hard pressed to reach your dreams or even keep going on some good days. If you believe in what we're doing here, guys, you can be part of the conversation. You can support us on Patreon. Our Patreons have direct access to us and help shape the shows we talk about. And if this is helping you, maybe you want to have some say in that. Maybe that's part of your why. It's part of my why. Okay? This is part of why I do what I do. So maybe you want to help men too. Maybe you want to just be a great dad. That's a really good why. A good resource on finding your why is Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. There will be a link in the description, both on the podcast and in the show notes and description on the YouTube as well as Daniel Pink's Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. I always try and leave you guys links for the books that I reference in these podcasts, so you have even more resources available to you. Guys, we talk about being better every day, and that starts with your why. You have to understand that, or you'll never make the journey you want to succeed on. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks for giving me your time. Be better tomorrow because of what you do today, guys. We'll see you next one.
This has been the Fallible Man Podcast, your home for everything man, husband, and father. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a show. Head over to www.thefallibleman.com for more content and get your own Fallible Man gear.